Yes, folks, hello, welcome to MoDXtra Games and Collectibles, and once again it is time for another Amazon action figure accessory review. Just rolls nicely off the tongue. This is where I go rooting around in the darkest, more obscure depths of Amazon, looking for janky-looking action figure accessories that we've all thought about buying, but have never been quite sure about buying because they have strange keyword stuff, titles, weird descriptions that look like they've been written by an AI or someone who's speaking English as a third or a fourth language. They're often shipping from overseas. The pictures are always photoshopped or digital renders. You know, all that good stuff knocking around out there that could be an absolute diamond, or could be the fail that it looks like on the surface. And I'm continuing my little run of 1/12 scale mini dios that I happened across on Amazon. I've done one already, the little Chinese room, and today we're going to take a look at the tunnel, or as it's listed on Amazon.com, just Style A. So let's take a look. All right then, folks, well, here it is listed on Amazon.com. You can see that it's got all those, the key criteria to meet my janky, obscure Amazon action figure accessory, rules. Although this particular one today has got more reviews than any other of these little 1/12 dios. You can see here on the webpage, there's quite a few available. If I just kind of whip through like that, dead quick. But we're looking at Style A today here. You can see that the picture is not an actual picture of the product, it's a digital render. We've got the weird photoshopped, stock photo of a desk with the product photoshopped on top of it. Well, that's a pretty decent Photoshop job, to be fair. At least they bothered to put a bit of shadow in to make it look vaguely realistic. We got the measurements. You can see they're quite small, 21.5, although I can tell you they're more like 20 centimeters. Meets all the criteria there. Weird keyword stuffed title: Menolana 1/12 scale backdrop show display organizer collection diorama for action figures, Style A. Although on UK Amazon that's listed as Perfkt, Perfkt, Perfkt. But we know how these things go. Same company, different, whatever. $13.99, you can see up there in the price. It's got a fair few reviews, actually, on this one. Let's just put that center screen. There we go. Fair few reviews on this one. 4.1 out of 5. Some folks have even taken some photos. I showed these on the last review that I did. So this one's coming quite well reviewed, actually, and with a fair number of contributions. In fact, there's one with some G.I. Joe Classified series figures in there, a Storm Shadow and some bats. So this one has got a little bit more going for it than others that I've ordered, because I've got a few more to take a look at. But yeah, there you go. It meets all the kind of janky, obscure Amazon rules for this series. So let's now crack it open and see if it's any good. Okay, folks, well, they come in these little grey plastic baggies in the post. There's no bubble wrap, no additional protection, just this thin layer of plastic, which is not great packaging, really, all told, especially when the product itself is then just in another plastic bag, And we'll see in a moment, because I believe a cursory inspection through the plastic is showing me that maybe that's resulted in some damage of the product in transit. So let's get it open on the back here. Crack that open there. There's the open edge. And then slide it out. And yeah, there we go. We can see we've got some damage across this tab section here. So we have the base there, the floor. This has got the little pop-out tabs here. Much caution required when removing these, because on the last one I managed to snap one of the tabs. And then we have this fold-out right-angled set of walls here with little inserts to go in those tab slots on the base with the wall display. So let's pop those out. Just got like a little mini Swiss Army knife here. I'll use this to cautiously remove the tabs. Oh yeah, that one's going a bit hinky. Yeah, there you go. So you pop the tabs out along these two edges here, and then open out the folds, and they slide in like so. So let's have a look where that damaged edge is. Yeah, so that damaged edge is along this side here, and it is affecting the product's ability to sit entirely flush there, but when you've actually got it sat down, it's not too bad. Now, if you're using these permanently, a little blob of glue in there will take care of it. I'm planning on, and one of the attractive features of this is that it's, you know, fold down and easy to store. Yeah, look, can you see there? Let's bring it a bit closer. Autofocus. There we go. Yeah, can you see the damage along the cracks along the bottom there? So not very well packaged, and it appears to have been damaged in transit. But the product itself, just like the last one, in fact, is not too bad at all, really. Decent-ish artwork there. Definitely looks like it's got a good science fiction, underground tunnel, secret basey kind of vibe. Use it for your G.I. Joe pits, or I might get one of my Akira figures out on this. Although they're 7-inch, will they be a bit too tall in there? They might be a bit too tall, but a Tetsuo in there, you know, like the underground bunker that Akira was being stored in. So it's got a pretty decent aesthetic, yeah. The base is a thick foam piece there. The autofocus is struggling, but you can see how thick that is. So it's got some body to it, although it's definitely a bit wibbly wobbly. Caution would be recommended, and so is the walls. This is very difficult. I'm trying to look at you, look at the product, and check the screen to make sure I've got my stuff under the camera. Some YouTube content creator skills development required on my part there, I think. But there we go. Let's have a look at it face on. All right, folks. Well, here it is. Then I've popped it just on my little show-off stage here. Grabbed my McFarlane Tetsuo, which is 7-inch. I'm pretty sure these are 7-inch, these McFarlane Akira figures. And actually, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. If you were taking photos and you kind of zoomed in and got the background and the figure entirely in frame, you'd be all right. It's not too bad. I'll grab something 6-inch in a minute. Yeah, it's definitely giving off a good vibe. It definitely has a bit of a two-dimensional feel. Although, if it would just focus on Tetsuo rather than the background, my autofocus is being very difficult. So it's not too bad, but I'll reiterate something I said on one of the other reviews. I think they are probably better for kind of popping on a shelf and using for shelf display purposes to add some depth and some colour and some, some setting of the scene around a display rather than maybe for photography, because I feel like the walls are just a bit too two-dimensional. So where we've got these all this kind of paneling and stuff, it feels too flat compared to, say, something that's been sculpted, you know, hot knife on foam kind of stuff, like my street scene that I use, or molded plastic like the NECA set and such like. So I think they've got good kind of on a shelf, display it on a shelf kind of vibes. But maybe less so for photography, I don't know. But if you've got a really good camera and you're able to get your depth, your field depth, is it depth of view, depth of field, whatever it's called, and that's a little bit blurry in the background, you know, maybe not. But for whatever it was, the £7 or £8 that it cost me here in the UK, I think is a little bit more expensive for folks in the US at around $12-13. Then. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if you're getting the full value for that price necessarily. But it's certainly an interesting scene. Underground, secret, science fiction-y looking bunkers are definitely the type of thing you find yourself using quite often. And so I'm just going for, it's all right. It's all right. It's decent. It's good enough. Just about good enough. Just grab my Marvel Legends Black Widow there. I don't know, are the McFarlane ones 7-inch? That looks much more like 6-inch there, but I think that's just because Tetsuo is a bit more diminutive than the other characters. But there you go, just to give you a bit of a vibe of it with a 6-inch character. Although the autofocus still insists on focusing on the background and not on the character at the front there, on my other camera. But just give you a bit of a vibe of something in a 6-inch line there. You could get quite a nice, like, get a pistol in her hand and have her look like she's sneaking around or something. Okay, just quickly then, I'm going to shoot from the hip for 1 second, because there we are, folks. I've popped it on a shelf just behind me here, and you can see that, yeah, it's quite a nice little, for like a little corner shelf display like that. In fact, I've got the Chinese room one down there with my Street Fighter figures in at the moment. So, yeah, that's a good fit. That's quite a nice little way of making use of it, for sure. Okay, folks, there you go then. So if you like the look of what you're seeing here today, you want to pick one up for yourself, the link will be in the description down below. That's an Amazon affiliate link. Done my legal duty pointing that out. And yeah, that's it. Come back round these parts again sometime soon to see one of the other Dios from the very same pack. All right, see you later, folks.